Good morning. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this 15-minute live, which is hosted by Reboot and Reset Your Lifestyle Today. And I want to thank them for having me on, and let's get started. So, today's topic, we are going to be talking about 3 ways you're sabotaging your hormones and business potential. So, if you're here right now, if you've had some sabotage in your business, in your health, especially your hormonal health, you're going to want to tune in and listen up. Okay. So let's get right into it. I know I've had this happen to me, and there are 3 top things that I have done to sabotage myself and actually was sabotaging my hormones as well. So the first one is grinding. Now, I know if you're here, if you're watching, if you're a busy mom, if you're a busy mom and an entrepreneur, you're doing everything at once and you're grinding, you're working all the time, right? Your energy is going every which way. And this is when burnout happens. So if you've been familiar with burnout, if you never heard the term burnout, maybe you can resonate with this. It is essentially working too much, sleeping too little, living off of caffeine and prayers. It's whatever happens, happens, right? You feel at the end of the day like, oh, I have nothing left to give. I have nothing left to give to myself. I have nothing left to give to anybody else. You are overworked, your stress levels through the roof, right? There's not enough time in the day for everything that you have to do. And you don't feel good about the quality of work that you're actually producing, right? So if you've ever felt like that, you're not alone. I've felt like that myself, multiple jobs, too much work. And this is where the fun part comes in, right? So in order to stop sabotaging your hormonal health, because when you're in that state of burnout, it really affects the cortisol level, your liver, your adrenal glands. So many things are involved. And what it actually does is it sets you up to have hormonal imbalances. Your hormones are going to go crazy. And you can see that in, mood swings, not sleeping. You can see that in breakouts. You can see that in a low sex drive. I mean, those are huge deals, right? They impact your life, my life, our lives, right? So, what we want to do instead of grinding, we want to play. Where can you find the play in your day to day life, in the grind? Where can you find the play within the things that you're doing during the day? Now, I'm sure most everybody has heard the term work life balance, and this is where the play comes in. So, do you live to work or do you work to live? That's the question. So, where do you find that work life balance? For me, I love to work, but I also play so much in my work. I enjoy what I do immensely. I'm passionate about it. And that's where I find the balance, right? Between the, logistical side and the fun side, right? So when you play, do things that you enjoy, do them frequently. So if you enjoy going for a walk by yourself in the evening, schedule that in. Schedule it in as if it's a hot date with yourself, okay? This is important. This is so important. It should go on your calendar. It's a non-negotiable. This is something that you need to do to recharge your own batteries. Because unfortunately, when we go to bed at night, sometimes that's not the time when we recharge our batteries. Our brain starts going, what do I have to do tomorrow? Am I gonna have to get the kids up? What are we doing? Who has soccer practice? Who's got piano lessons, right? There's so many different things going on in our brain as soon as our body starts to settle. And sometimes just taking that energy into a different avenue, right? Playing relaxes our body, relaxes our mind, and we're able to sleep better at night. And we're able to feel more productive. We want to get that stuff done during the day because we've already fueled our own cup, right? So when we play, this is again where you find the balance, and this is going to look different for everyone. So maybe for you, it's a walk. I know I love going to the beach. I love putting my feet in the sand. That for me, no matter if I'm active, playing beach volleyball, or if I'm just walking, that for me is playtime. Okay. So let's go to the next one. So the first one we talked about grinding, and the second way I have seen and I have myself sabotaged my hormones and my business potential is always being available. Now, I've been the yes girl. I know so many of my friends are the yes girls. Raise your hand if you are that person, that go-to person. My friends are like, "Oh, Erica, she'll help. She'll do it. I know that she will." I'm the yes girl, or at least I used to be. I always wanted to help. I always wanted to be there. If somebody needed help at work, yes, I can come in early. Yes, I can stay late. Yes, I can, come in on the weekends. Yes, I can be on call. Yes, I can help, my friend and family and coworker out. Yes, I can do that. So if you've been there, it's not a bad thing. You're a giver, right? Some people's love language is different than others. I personally, acts of service is one of my love languages. So that's how I actually show up for other people with my love language, right? I love to give to them. I love, gifts, giving gifts and things like that, acts of service as well. So it's important to know that if, always being available, being the yes girl, isn't always in the best interest, right? So being too busy actually hurts your creativity. Now, I talked about this a little bit before, but when we talk about playing versus grinding, and when you play a little bit, your mind actually is able to relax a little bit and wind down at the end of the night. Did you know that being too busy, right, having too much on the mind will actually hurt your creativity? So some of the greatest thinkers of, the history of the world that I know of are dedicated walkers. How do I put this? Ambient walkers. They just go on a stroll once in a while, every day at noon, or every day, after when they take their lunch, whatever. They go on a walk. Maybe there's music, maybe there's not, maybe there's writing involved, maybe there's not, but it's quiet time for the brain to be creative, because always being available and always having the next thing ready to do, right? I have a to-do list. I go from this to that to this to that, right? In order, okay? And actually doing that, not allowing yourself downtime, will hurt your creativity. So if you're trying to excel in your business, if you're trying to excel in work, if you're trying to make this, grand project or invention or whatever you're doing, and you're always busy, you're always available, you're never going to meet your full potential of creativity. Okay. And how that impacts our hormones, right? Again, with the stress, with the, energy levels. Actually, there are times during our menstrual cycle where we are more creative than others, specifically during our follicular phase. During our menstrual phase, we're actually a lot more analytical and we're thinking about things, right? This is where we start to maybe do our brainstorming and things. And then follicular phase is like where we're like pumping out the work. But if you're not giving yourself that time, that free time, and it's not free time, I shouldn't say it like that. It's not free, it's specific, a lot of creative time. It's like putting a piece of paper in front of your kids with a pencil and saying, okay, draw like what's on your brain, and just seeing what comes. So that is the amazing thing about not always being available, but not always being the yes girl or the yes guy. You are not, giving your creativity away. So the other issue with always being available is eating on the go. Okay, eating on the go and always being on the go, right? We're always moving. So there's two things with that. One, if you're always on the go, if you're always the yes girl, you're going to be decreasing your energy, or you're going to be giving out a lot of energy. You're always going to be yes, 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 I can do this, even if you don't have that energy. And it's important to honor where we're at and how we're feeling, because during our cycle, as our hormones fluctuate, it's a circle, right? As our hormones cycle throughout the month, our hormone and our energy level will cycle as well. So it's important to honor when we're feeling low and slow, right? Maybe it's a journaling time, maybe it's that, that analytical time. Honoring where you're at instead of saying, oh, I promised I would do this, and now I just don't have the energy. All right, I'm just gonna grab a coffee. Let's go. Let's do it. Right? just maybe taking a rain check, like, okay, telling your boss, I don't have the time or energy to do this right now. I'm going to do it next week, knowing that you will do it next week, or maybe asking for an extension if there's a deadline. Okay, the next part with always being available is eating on the go. Okay, this is really important, especially when it comes to your hormones, because when we eat when we're stressed, we have increased cortisol, and actually that food goes right into our storage. It's actually stored as fat and not used as fuel. And the reason why is because the body cannot digest and feel like it's in fight or flight at the same time. It increases your likelihood of weight gain, and with increased weight usually comes increased estrogen, and you're more likely to have an estrogen dominance cycle. Okay, or estrogen dominance within your body. And that, again, is sabotaging your hormones. So, also with eating on the go, I talked about digestion, having decreased digestion. Now, it's important to have really good digestion in order to have optimum hormone balance, because the hormones are actually moved out and through the body, just like everything else, all the other toxic waste, as they need to fluctuate. Now, if they're not moving out of the body and they're not able to fluctuate like they should, you're going to have some sticky spots. You're not going to be optimizing your hormone levels, your hormone balance. Okay. And the last one is really important, especially when it comes to nutrition, because to have optimum hormone balance, you need to have good nutrition. So when we're eating on the go, more than likely, we're not going to grab really healthy, good foods for us. So this is important, that if you are busy, if you know you're busy, meal prepping and having those meals that are healthy and good for you, that you're just ready to grab and go, planning ahead and packing a lunch or something like that, or making sure that the grab and go items that you do have are whole foods like carrots or almonds or something like that. So, it's the next part I want to talk about is, again, always being available for your boss at work. Now, again, that can increase your stress level. Now, when I say boss, sometimes we're our own bosses as entrepreneurs or as moms. We get to dictate our day, and basically always being in boss mode, right? Always being in work mode, our stress level is chronically high. So, without giving yourself that time, I talked about before, to play, to enjoy yourself, to do things that are not, on the clock, allowing yourself that time will actually allow your stress level to decrease. So it's important to do that, definitely. A couple of ways to do that, what I like to do: you can go to a yoga class, have a relaxing morning, maybe start later in the day, maybe, leave the kids in their PJs for the first half of the morning, okay? Maybe you want to get up a little bit earlier and have some alone time before the rest of the family wakes up. Maybe you make it, dedication to yourself to read a chapter of your favorite book in the morning or before you go to bed at night. So, another thing that you could do is maybe ask your boss if you could work from home for one day of the week, or ask, if you could, maybe stay in a couple hours later one day and then have a day off. And, how that would affect your time, your PTO, however that works for you. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing, the third and last thing that I really want to talk about, and this is the big one, especially if you're in a more corporate environment, and we're just about at time, so I'm going to make this really quick. It's saying yes to the coffee and other treats that are in the break room. Okay. And I used to do this, I used to be this person. So the first thing that you can do is, again, pack your own lunch, be prepared with healthy foods and snacks, and set healthy boundaries. If you're going to have one, have it at the end of the day before you walk out the door. And that way you'll know for sure you're not going to go back for seconds, right? Okay. So I want to give a quick recap. So the three main things that we talked about today are grinding, always being available, always being the yes person, saying yes to the treats, saying yes to helping other people when we know that we have low energy, and not prioritizing our health. So what we can do instead, we can play more. Okay, we can set really healthy boundaries for ourselves and what we need, and our energy levels and our stress levels. Okay, so those are the huge things for us for today. If you loved this info, if you'd love to connect, feel free to send me a direct message. You can also follow me on Instagram at Translucent Light Coach. You could also follow me on Facebook at Erika Workman. And for more tips like this for how to biohack your hormones to maximize your business potential, if you'd love to be in my group, you can send me a direct message. My group is Hormone Balance and PMS on Facebook, and I'll give you that information. So one last thanks to Reboot and Reset Your Lifestyle today for hosting this live event. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the interweb. Bye.